Hey guys, so I wanted to put this video together because I just got an urge in my spirit tonight. It's really, really late. My bathroom is the brightest place in the house as far as the lighting goes, so that's why I'm making the video in the bathroom right now. But I want to talk about all this stuff in more details in another video, but I feel like time is short. Time is really, really short, and I just feel like a huge urge to talk about this stuff because I really feel like we're coming to a place in time where there's not going to be a lot of time left. I just honestly believe the rapture is going to be happening soon, and there's a lot more stuff I want to say before it happens. I just want to get it out there as it comes to me. So that's what I'm going to make this video on. I wanted to start with just going through a bunch of verses I had marked in the Bible. But the first one is in Hebrews. Now, I absolutely love this chapter. I'd read you the whole thing, but just read it yourself. Chapter 13 in Hebrews. It's about the spirit of Christian love. I'm just reading verse 8 for this little bit. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. Now, I wanted to read that first because it's just to make a point. So people, they usually write off the Old Testament as if it's just not a part of the Christian walk anymore. Like nothing in the Old Testament is relevant to us anymore, and they just kind of ignore it, right? But there's a lot inside the Old Testament, and like the Bible I just read, Jesus is the same today, yesterday, and forever. The Old Testament, God is love, and He created the Old Testament and the rules of the Old Testament for a reason, even with His loving nature. So I know there's so much I could go into that, but I'm going to be talking about the feasts and like our future and how we're going to be with Jesus forever. And that's why I say, and I'm going to bring out a few other verses, that there is relevance. There's relevance in the Old Testament, there's relevance in the New Testament, and I want this video to be just a little bit of encouragement for what's about to happen and a very brief explanation for the things that is going to come. And I want to talk about a lot of this stuff in more details, like I already said, but basically, there's so much to be excited about. We're living in such a crazy time as Christians, and I feel like we're already seeing so many prophecies unfolding right before our eyes, and we're only gonna see a lot more. I got onto this feeling of just pouring out all these different verses and stuff because I was watching different YouTube videos, and the History Channel had a video posted a couple hours ago about this crystal city that was seen in Antarctica by this pilot and during World War II. And I'll post all the links below that I mentioned. But then a year ago, they also made this channel about extraterrestrial life and how the Bible, they were trying to say like the Bible revelations is based off like aliens. Like maybe John the Baptist had a vision of a mothership coming to Earth, and that was the New Jerusalem that he had seen. It was actually alien life. And there's so much out there just trying to, say alien this, alien that, pushing people to believe that there's extraterrestrial life and aliens. And I feel like it's going to be a deception on what happens to those of us who are raptured out of here, which I'm not describing the entire rapture, but I'll put a video that describes it really good if you don't know what I'm talking about at all. But I feel like most of you who probably watch my videos have at least some knowledge on the Bible, so you probably know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, the world's gonna try to make them believe that aliens took us. There's going to be an alien deception. That's my guess. That's what a lot of us are thinking is going to happen. And when I see videos like this posted by the History Channel, it just makes me believe even more like that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to discredit the Bible. They're going to say, oh, the people who wrote the Bible, they didn't actually see a vision from God. They saw aliens. And it'll make sense. It'll make more sense than believing in God taking us and meeting us halfway in the air, in the clouds, to be with Him forever. So I just wanted to say some verses and a quick description of what's going to happen. So I am of the belief that the rapture is going to take place very, very soon. And then shortly following the rapture is going to be the beginning of the Great Tribulation. There are a few more prophecies that need to be fulfilled before the Great Tribulation starts. But all of this stuff is written in Revelations, Daniel, and different books throughout the Bible, showing the things that are going to happen. And we're running out of time. Like, it's going to happen so quickly. And after the Great Tribulation, which is a 7-year period, there's going to be the millennial kingdom. So Jesus Christ, he's going to come back down to earth. He's going to end the war, and he's going to live in Israel for 1,000 years with us, and we'll be in our glorified bodies, and we'll be living with him in the way it was supposed to be with the Garden of Eden before sin entered the world. And that there would still be a chance for people to sin during those 1,000 years. So that's the things that people don't really talk about a lot. Like, people mention, oh yeah, there's heaven, earth, hell, that's it. But what about the millennial kingdom? When Jesus is back down here, he ends the war, we're in our glorified bodies, meaning that, no more sickness, no more death. And we're living for 1,000 years, just taking care of the earth like he intended, living with him, doing the feasts, which I'm going to read some verses about the feasts, and we're going to be having a great time. And then after that, there's going to be the final judgment where the devil and the demons and anyone who got the mark of the beast, which is going to be a mark on your right hand or your forehead, saying that you deny God and that you're following the beast, basically. It's going to be something with 666, and just do not get anything in your right hand or forehead. Just don't. But anyway, so after that, all those people, demons and the devil, is going to be cast into a bottomless pit forever and ever. And then God is going to make a new heaven and a new earth, which who knows what that will be like. It's probably something that we can't even imagine, like a completely whole new earth and whole new heaven. But we're going to be living with him forever. And there's going to be some things that we're going to be doing, and it's not going to just be like, oh, you go to heaven and you're sitting there with harps and clouds and pink fluffy bunnies. Like, it's going to be crazy. So I think it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited for all this, and I feel like we're going to see it. People, who are alive today are going to see it. Like, it's so soon. I just feel like it's so soon. So I wanted to read a few verses about all of this stuff that I just kind of brushed over, and I hope that I'm not speaking too fast. I just really feel like I have to say something, and I'm going to talk some of these topics one at a time in slower videos later, but like I said, I feel like time is running short, and it's on my heart to say it. So John 14 verse 2, I wanted to read, and so this is when Jesus was leaving, and he was talking about the Holy Spirit entering. He said, "And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again." So he's going to come again. The first time in the rapture, where he's going to meet us halfway in the air, and then we're going to be with him for 7 years, and then we'll come back down and we'll live in the millennial kingdom. "And receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also." So after we're either raptured or we endured the tribulation, and we're in the millennial kingdom now, we're going to be with Jesus always after that. As long as you don't sin or anything, and once a new heaven and new earth and the devil's cast into the bottomless pit, hopefully there's nothing like this ever again happens, and we never have to worry about sin, which I don't think we will, because in Revelations there's a Bible verse I really, really love. In chapter 21, on what verse was it? 1 through 4. "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth." This is like the new heaven and new earth after the millennial kingdom. "For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." So this new heaven and new earth won't have a sea. "And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband." This is where the History Channel was trying to say that maybe John saw a mothership, because there's some symbolism, because it talks about dimensions and everything, and 12, 4 sides of 3. Anyway. "And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." So that's an extremely encouraging verse in the Bible. No matter what you're going through, like, there's going to be hard times for sure, but at the end of the day, And during all of it, if you can get through it all, there won't be any more pain, there won't be any more tears. Everyone will be happy. Exodus 12, 14 says, oh, not 14. Yep. And 12:14 in Exodus. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by ordinance forever. So this is just one of the scriptures. You can read the whole chapter in Leviticus in chapter 23 about the feasts of the Lord that we're going to be keeping forever. And it says in many other times, and even I'll read a few verses in the New Testament about how people will be doing these feasts forever. And these feasts aren't just like, you're going to all eat dinner, like they're fun. You should really look into them. And I'll make another video about the feasts, but each one has so much to it. It's almost like you got to do it like one at a time. Otherwise, I would just talk way too much for one video. But they're statutes that are going to last forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And we're going to do this because, and it says that remembrance is super important in everything, like in history of the earth. If you don't teach people history will repeat itself. And it's a good way to remember the promises of God and all the things that he's done for us. And the feasts are fun, like I said. The one that's coming up right now is actually Rosh Hashanah. It's going to be on September 25th through the 27th. And I'll make some more videos later when I have more time, and I'll try to do it before the feast actually begins. So if you're watching this by any chance and you want to do it with me, then it would be awesome. Because at the end of the day, when I first got into this, reading in the Old Testament, finding out how God still cares about a lot of stuff in the Old Testament that people don't talk about. It's not like he's just like, oh yeah, the old is done away with forever. Like, yes, some things is, prophecies were fulfilled. Jesus fulfilled a lot of them, but God still cares about some things, like the feasts, he says is going to be forever. When we're in heaven during the Great Tribulation, when those of us who get raptured up, we're going to get up there, and every year for 7 years, we're going to be celebrating these feasts. And I mean, who knows? We might come up with more feasts. Like it's like holidays, Bible holidays. Because like Christmas isn't actually in the Bible. The holidays in the Bible are the feasts, and they're actually a lot of fun. So I would definitely try to do more videos on it, but you should look into it yourself as well. I wanted to read a verse in Acts. I wrote down the verses I wanted to read in a notebook next to me. But Acts 18:21, it says, so this is Paul talking about the feasts. And, well, not really, but he's saying goodbye to some people. He was moving on. And he said, but bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means keep this feast that cometh in Jerusalem. So as he's leaving, he's letting them know how important it is that he keeps the feast. But I will return again unto you, if God will. And he sailed from Ephesus. And back to Hebrews, I'm not going to go back to the chapter because this video is already getting longer than I intended it to be. But if you read back in a lot of Paul's writing, he was always talking, because there's a huge conflict on how Christians should act and what they should do. Should everyone become Jewish? Should everyone do the feast? Should everyone do these traditions? Like, everyone was having a hard time mixing the cultures because it's just a little bit hard to do. And I feel like some of it, people take a lot of it way too seriously, and there might not be a black and white for every believer. But I think, reading the word, finding out what God cares about, finding out what, his plan for the future kingdom is going to be, and then just making your life in line with that is the way to go. And he says multiple times in scriptures that we're going to be celebrating these feasts forever. And even the Apostle Paul was like, I must celebrate this feast. Like, he's like, I'm going to find a way to do it, even though I'm traveling. You know what I mean? I think making it a priority isn't a bad thing to do at all. And I'm not saying people who don't celebrate the feasts aren't doing things right at all. I've only got into this the last, I'd say 3 years, 3.5 roughly. And every year it's terrible. Like I try to stick to it, but there's a lot of feasts, a lot of different traditions and customs that go along with them. Last year, the year before last year, the fish head rotted. I was trying to cook a fish head, which is not written in the Bible, but it's one of those traditions that people try to have fun with and stuff. And it rotted, and that was terrible. And I actually thought I would fix the rotted fish head by cooking it. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so the whole house smelled like rotten fish. Is bad. But Matthew 26:29, we have a verse that I wanted to read. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. So this is when he was doing his Holy Supper, and they took the bread and the wine, and Jesus blessed it and was like, take this, eat of it, it's my body, and then drink of this, it's my blood. And it says here he's not going to drink wine until we're all with him in the Father's kingdom. I think that's kind of cool. I'm still drinking wine, but after I read this verse, I was like, that'd be kind of neat if I could also do that, like do it with him. Like, okay, I'm not going to drink wine either until I get to the Father's kingdom with you. So obviously, God's thinking about the kingdom. And even the verse right after this, and when they had sung an hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. And I just bring that up because of the word sung and hymn right there. We're not going to be just sitting around playing harps. We're going to be having fun. We're going to be doing feasts. We're going to be singing hymns, songs, like praise and worship. I'm going to put some favorites down below, but it's going to be amazing. There's dancing. We're going to be dancing. We're not just going to be sitting up there just like, it's going to be a great time in heaven, the millennial kingdom, and the new heaven and new earth. 1 Corinthians 15:42 through... it was a couple verses. I'm just going to read to 45, I guess. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in corruption. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body, and there is also a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. So this is basically talking about our glorified bodies, and it's just mentioning how there is a difference between a spiritual body and a natural body. There's another verse I had marked in Revelation about how we're not going to be naked. It's Revelations 3:4-5. Thou hast a few names even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. So this is talking about in heaven after the Great Tribulation. There's going to be obviously those who are raptured and in heaven already, and then those who come to heaven after they have died in the Great Tribulation. And then afterwards, Jesus is going to come down, and we're all going to be living on earth for 1,000 years. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment. So if you overcome the great, great sorrows of the Great Tribulation, then that's what you have to do. If you're still here, if just by any chance I put up this video and then bam, we're alien deception, we're taken out, then you need to overcome no matter how bad it gets. And it's going to be so bad in the Great Tribulation, people will want to kill themselves, but they won't be allowed to. It's going to be really, really bad. And I will not blot out his name from the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. So I'm going to read this couple verses later. So anyway, that was I was about to grab my phone again. I got to stop that because every time I do that, the video takes 100 years to upload. So quickly looking over my notes about what this video is about. I think I hit everything. Yep. Wait, did I read in Luke? Luke 24. Mark. Luke. I don't remember opening that scripture. So let me quickly check what that was. 24:39. I'm not sure why I put this in here, but I'm just going to read it. 39 through 43. So this is Jesus appearing to the apostles after he was already crucified. And, they were all kind of shocked that he was actually not dead, that he was risen. And he said unto them, Why are ye troubled, and why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold my hands and feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see, for a spirit hath not flesh and bones, as ye see me have. And when he had thus spoken, he showed them his hands and feet. And while they yet believed not for joy and wondered, he said unto them, Have ye here any meat? And they gave him a piece of broiled fish and of an honeycomb. And he took it and did eat before them. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. Okay, so that's an amazing verse. Like right there, you see, he had said in the red, this part is what I was reading right there about these are written in the words. So he's going, the words are in the Old Testament that he was talking about, in the laws of Moses, in the prophets, in the Psalms concerning me. So he's saying, hey, those books in the Old Testament with all those prophecies were about me. So that he tells us to look in the prophecy and to see how he fulfilled them. That's not why I put it in here. I think I put this in here because it said how Jesus ate the broiled fish and honeycomb. Like, we're going to eat when we get into heaven too. Jesus eats, it's gonna be great. We're gonna eat, we're gonna dance, we're gonna sing, we're gonna have a great time, we're gonna have feasts, and at the end of the day, oh my goodness, I just picked it up. I'm sorry. Okay, that's it. Bye.